Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durrett's Take. There's a lot I want to go over today, so let's get started. Just to review from my Tuesday podcast, I revealed who would be my new top 7 teams to make the playoffs. And then AFC, Pittsburgh would be a 1 seed at 15-1, Kansas City 2 seed 13-3, third seed would be Tennessee at 12-4, fourth seed Buffalo at 9-7, barely winning division there. Five Baltimore 13-3 as a wild card. Six Las Vegas 9-7, and Cleveland 9-7. And then NFC had one seed Tampa Bay 14-2. I mean they could lose one game, but I feel like they're gonna win out. Two seed Seattle 13-3. Third seed Green Bay 13-3. Fourth seed Washington, my surprise pick, 6-10 to win the NFC East. Five seed New Orleans 11-5. Six seed Chicago 11-5, and seven seed San Francisco 10-6. So now let's get started. So for the AFC, so Kansas City and Cleveland would be paired up in the first round, and Kansas City would dominate. I would have them winning by at least 3 possessions, if not more. Third seed Tennessee would face sixth seed Las Vegas, and Tennessee would also win that one by at least 3 possessions as well. That one wouldn't be close. And then four seed Buffalo, five seed Baltimore. That would be a close and interesting game. Um, and I would in this one I would actually even though it would be in Buffalo, I'd actually take Baltimore, despite their playoff struggles the past few years, to get the win there, barely by like a field goal in a lower scoring game there. So then you have one seed Pittsburgh versus five seed Baltimore, and they would face each other for the third time this year. I feel like Pittsburgh would win that one, actually by more than by at least 2 possessions, maybe if not more, just because Pittsburgh is really good at stopping the run, and if Baltimore can't run, then they're screwed. And then two seed Kansas City versus three seed Tennessee, rematch of the AFC Championship game. A rematch of the AFC Championship game last year. And this one would be a way closer game. I feel like it would come down to a field goal. In all honesty, then Kansas City survives. So then you have a one seed Pittsburgh versus two seed Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, which would be a good game. In this one, I feel like this could be a 1 point game with Kansas City again surviving to go to the Super Bowl. And then NFC, you have two seed Seattle versus seven seed San Francisco. Again, a divisional rematch there. And I would have San Francisco get the upset there within a field goal, just because Seattle's defense, I feel like, wouldn't be able to stop the run. And then third seed Green Bay versus sixth seed Chicago. Green Bay wins this one, only by a touchdown though, but a lower scoring game there. And then four seed Washington versus five seed New Orleans. New Orleans would obviously win this one by multiple possessions, despite it being in Washington. So then you have one seed Tampa Bay versus seven seed San Francisco. And guys, this one would be an upset in my opinion. I feel like San Francisco would win by around a field goal or so. Hear me out. San Francisco. Okay, actually, let's go this way. Tampa Bay, we've realized there's one thing that they kind of struggle with so far this season, and that's when their offense goes up against a physical team, like a really physical team, like Chicago defense. Like that was such a physical team, or the Saints defense, while the secondary is bad. Even the front four or front seven of the New Orleans, where they got so much pressure and sacks on Tom Brady. It's like when you're able to do that, you're able to defeat the offense despite the weapons. So I feel like San Francisco's defense, while they don't have the Bosa and stuff like that, I feel like they can still be able to do that and be able to stop them just enough. Um, and then to get the upset there, three seed Green Bay versus five seed New Orleans. This one again come right down to the wire, can go either way. But I'm going to take Green Bay at home though, with the home field advantage to win that one. And then you have third seed Green Bay versus seventh seed San Francisco. And after seeing this twice last year, we all know what's going to happen. Green Bay hasn't changed. Now, if they make some moves at the trading deadline, then that's a different story. But as presently constructed, we all know what's going to happen there. So San Francisco would get the upset there. So it'd be a rematch of Kansas City and a San Francisco Super Bowl. And I would have Kansas City favored by touchdown to win it again. So those are some hot takes, obviously. And again, in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks or so, after we get a few more weeks in, and I'll update my projections. Okay, so now to go over my NFL picks for this week. So let's get started. So for tonight, Thursday night football game, Falcons versus Panthers. This is Panthers all the way. Falcons, they're not good. They're not. It's gonna be hard for them to win any more games. I mean, maybe one down the line, but I just don't see it. After their debacle last week, they're just done. And I feel like this is the game for the Panthers, who are 3-3, and if they want to get into that wild card spot, they have to win this game. So Panthers going to play with the more same way they're going to win. Okay, so now Patriots versus Bills. This one's an interesting game, just because I feel this is a game where the Bills defense. I mean, they did good for the most part against the Jets last week, but against the Chiefs and against the Tennessee Titans and stuff, and well, even against the Rams, to some degree, like their defense has been kind of horrible. So it'd be interesting to see here against a struggling Patriots offense, are they going to be able to play good defense like we think the Bills defense is capable of? If so, they should be able to win this game. And despite, even if the Patriots defense can slow down Buffalo's offense, which they can because they did it twice last year, even though Buffalo appear to be better. So I'm going to take the Bills here, but it may be a closer game than the most experts think. Like, it may be just a touchdown game, like not multiple possessions or anything like that. Next game, Titans versus Bengals. Titans all the way easy here. Titans will potentially, either the Titans or Chiefs score the most points this week. But the Bengals, though, even though this should be a blowout game, what I am interested to see here, though, is how Joe Burrow can do against this Tennessee defense. That'll be interesting to see. So the Raiders versus Browns. This is the underrated game of the week here. Both teams obviously need the win here, so that when it comes out of the wild card spot, one will be favored of the other. And again, since I have Las Vegas 6 Cleveland 7, means I think the Raiders are going to win this game despite it being at Cleveland. Barely though. It's going to be a shootout. Like both teams go in the 30s and stuff, but I feel like the Raiders' offense is better than the Browns' offense. Barely. So then you get the Colts versus Lions. So this is interesting. The experts think this is going to be a very close game instead of a game where the Colts will win easily. And I can understand why. I feel like it may come down within a touchdown or so, but I feel like Colts will survive in this game to kind of keep their themselves in the wild card playoff ring, if you will. Vikings versus Packers. Packers win easily here. And again, this one might be a shootout like the first game was of the season here. The Packers will win it. Jets, Chiefs, and don't even need to go there. Rams versus Dolphins. So this is going to be interesting. Tua's first start going up against Aaron Donald in that defensive front. I feel like Tua would do fine for his first start, but I feel like it's not going to be enough against that Rams defense. Now, the fact that the Dolphins have the bye week to prepare, Rams coming off Monday Night Football, have to travel all the way there, all those factors will make it a closer game on paper, but I feel like Rams will get the win. Steelers versus Ravens, obviously the game of the week here. This would be hard to pick. I mean, I feel like they're going to split one, so I'm going to choose the Ravens though to get the first win here though. Because the Steelers, because of their easier schedule, I feel like they can afford the one loss. Because then when they meet up again in Pittsburgh later on, I feel like Mike Tomlin can pull out more of the tricks and stuff and more of the packages and stuff like that to try to confuse Ravens so they can get the head-to-head advantage for later on. Chargers versus Broncos. This is an interesting divisional game. I would say Chargers are the better team, but because it's in Denver and then the winter conditions and LA, of course, is not good weather condition type of situation, I feel like Broncos can take advantage and win that game. 49ers versus Seahawks. Again, an interesting game within one possession, in my opinion, could come out right to the wire. But since it's at Seattle and Seattle wants to get revenge after 49ers beat Seattle at Seattle last year to make them a wildcard team, after Seahawks debacle on Sunday Night Football, I know they're going to be hungry for revenge. So I'm going to take Seahawks here, barely in a high-scoring game. Saints versus Bears. This one could be a close game. I feel like Saints can win by 2 possessions here, despite the Saints defense being bad. Just because we already saw the Bears' offensive line's bad, and the Saints' defensive line is pretty good, so they can just get pressured. The Saints should win this one easily. Cowboys versus Eagles. Eagles are going to win easily. I don't care if it's division opponent. I don't care if the third-string quarterback happens to be good. I mean, the Eagles are going to win this one easily. The Eagles would have to lose this one on themselves in order to lose this one. And then for the Monday Night Football, Bucks Giants. I mean, Giants may play hard and stuff, but Bucks are going to win this one easily. So those are my picks. So I got the Panthers, Bills, Titans, Raiders, Colts, Packers, Chiefs, Rams, Ravens, Broncos, Seahawks, Saints, Eagles, and Bucks. So now for my college football picks of the week, I'm here in my top 5 games. Five, you got Memphis at 3-1 versus 7 Cincinnati 4-0. It's at noon. I believe it's on ESPN. But I don't know. The important game here. So with two losses in the conference, it becomes very hard to not only automatically get to the New Year's Six bowl game, but it's hard to win the conference in general, and it means you're probably gonna lose. With Memphis already having the one less, they can't afford another one, especially since SMU has the tiebreaker over them. So they need SMU to lose and then Memphis to win this game, so that way they can take back the lead and control the division. But anyways, so Cincinnati, even if they decide to lose this one, they don't have room to spare though, because if they lose this one and then they go to UCF, which they could potentially lose, then they would lose control of their winning the division. But if Cincinnati loses one, they're very most likely going to win a division. Cincinnati will play with the sense of urgency, and I feel like this game will come down right to the wire because these were kind of close games last year when they met 2 times last year. But Cincinnati will get revenge after losing twice last year to lose their opportunity to play the Year 6 bowl game. So Cincinnati's going to win by a couple points, and I feel like it'll be like a 27-23 type of game. Next one, Missouri versus 10 Florida. Now, this one could potentially get canceled due to COVID or postponed due to COVID. I feel like if we ever heard anything by tomorrow, then assume it's on, but we'll see. Because Florida has their COVID cases. And this may not look like an interesting matchup, and it may not, but Missouri is sneaky. Their past 2 games, they won a shootout with LSU, and they just completely shut down Kentucky. So Missouri, since they can score a lot with those, it seems they should be able to score like against a bad Florida defense. But also here's the key though. With Florida having COVID issues, I don't think their whole roster is going to be able to play. I mean, maybe most of the stars are able to play. Maybe key players won't be able to play stuff, and that'll be maybe a difference maker in making this an upset pick. But I'm going to take Florida to escape here with a touchdown, like a 34-27 type of game here. Okay, third, Texas 32 versus 6, Oklahoma State 4-0. So Oklahoma State's not in the driver. So Oklahoma State is now in the driver's seat to go to the Big 12 title game. Playoffs hopes are small, but still possible. And a loss, I feel like, wouldn't knock them out entirely. But that non-conference win against Tulsa wasn't a good one. Like 17, so unless Tulsa wins the American, then it's an excellent win. But so I feel like that's gonna maybe be bad. But I mean, if there's a whole bunch of chaos and there's not a clear number 4, then Oklahoma State, if they only have one loss, would be an excellent candidate. The reason I give Oklahoma State the edge though in this game is because Texas O-line is not great, and Oklahoma State's defense knows to bring the pressure. So therefore, I feel like Sam Elliott is going to be in trouble all day. So Oklahoma State wins by 2 possessions, in my opinion, and a lower scoring game to stay undefeated. 2, Arkansas 2-2 versus 8, Texas A&M 3-1. So again, you may think A&M should win this one easily, but you have to be careful here. Arkansas is better than recent years and plays hard, especially on defense. So Texas A&M QB Kellen Mond has to play turnover free and has to be very careful if they want to win this game. And I think they will, but it's going to be a low scoring game where they survive like a 17-13 type of game. And last but not least, obviously the 18 Penn State on 1 versus 3 Ohio State 1-0. So, in my opinion, Penn State is not a contender anymore after the loss against Indiana. They can still be good. I'm not saying they're not good, but they're not elite or close to Ohio State's level like we thought. And now, if Penn State gets the upset here, they control their destiny. I'll change my tune. But Ohio State's offense didn't miss a beat from last year. Maybe even gotten better in there. Not in the running game, but as far as passing game, looks like they may have gotten even better. And Ohio State's just better than Indiana in general, so I expect Penn State to play hard and try their best because it's James Franklin on the team, and they usually play hard, try their best. But Ohio State, I feel like, will win this one, and I may not be close at all. So I have them winning by like 3 possessions. Maybe it's close to the first, so the second half it separates. But so those are my picks for the week. Thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel and tell everyone about me. Thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful day.